now. Listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great.
This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth right now.
Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it. Hit it.
It's time for Max World.
And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
All right, good afternoon. It is 6 minutes after the hour of 3 o'clock on the 18th day of the 7th month in the Lord's third millennial, 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and we're back in the saddle again. This is Max World Live. And if you were listening on Friday in the second hour of the show, we had some folks in the studio who represented Mothers Against Violence and also represents Black Lives Still Matter and Black Lives Matter. And so I'm a little, everybody's trying to, they were all late.
Yeah, I've been here having good conversation.
That's right. You were on time.
Am I late? I didn't know it.
Well, if the show started and you walk in, guess what?
I'm late.
You're late.
I apologize.
That's all right. That's Calvetta. And what's your last name again, Calvetta?
Barry.
Barry, that's right. Any relation to Chuck?
No.
All right.
Not that I know of.
you are Larae.
Jeray Griffith.
Jeray Griffith. All right. All right, and we've got these three ladies back, or these two gentlemen and a lady, and I just need you to move over a little bit farther that way. Yeah, you're going to have to act like you like each other.
There we go.
Oh, we do.
There we go.
Okay.
That's my bad.
All right, and then get your headphones in and everybody can hear. All right, so we had such a good conversation on Friday. I kind of just cleared the calendar and asked these folks to come back in because we just didn't get enough done. We didn't have enough time to talk. There were so many opinions, and it's your opinions I want to hear, too. So here's the numbers you can call, 515-244-0077. That's so I can hear your voice, and you can get on the radio. And then Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, watching the chat, and the Service Legends Truth Talk text line is where you can simply text us at 809-0993. And, Bob, do we have any texts left over from the end of the show last week that we didn't read? You don't know. All right. Or do you?
No.
Okay. And then, of course, Frank Thomas is sitting in as my co-host, and Jebediah is my producer. All right. So, Baton Rouge. What'd you think of that?
Terrible.
Get a little bit closer on.
I said it. I thought it was very terrible. And
the guy apparently is an ex-Marine.
Yeah, I heard that.
Who was even serving on the ground in Iraq.
And the one police officer, I think he just became a father.
He did?
So that's
He did?
It's absolutely disheartening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is Deborah coming?
No, she's sick.
Well, I was hoping she would come because she mentioned having some relatives who were police officers, and I wanted to get her opinion on a couple of things. But
Yeah, she's sick today.
I just tossed this question out, or this thought out. Was this an ambush?
And those officers?
Yes.
I think so. I think he was there to accomplish a mission, and yeah, I think it was. I mean, I can't speak for him, but it looked like it to me.
Well, this just wasn't responding to a real emergency. I mean, in other words, was this a real emergency or was this I haven't heard, so I'm asking because I haven't heard if anybody else knows. Was this responding to a 911 call? Or, in other words, was this a setup thing, a make-believe 911 call? It looks like to me it's earmarked ambush written all over it.
Yeah, to me too. Looks like.
Yeah.
So it would be what the guy who? Well, let's get some names. Frank, find a name, please, of the gentleman who is deceased, who was the shooter. I'm sure there's tons of information out there. Or Jebediah, if you can look that up, I would appreciate it. All right, 10 minutes after the hour of 3 o'clock on Monday the 18th. If you're listening to this at any other time on any other day, this is running as a best of. Because it has that quality. It has that localness. It's that sound. It's that feeling. I've got three people in front of me who Calvetta started an organization a couple of years ago called Mothers Against Violence because someone you knew very close to you, their child was murdered.
Correct. Actually, one of my good friends, he was murdered.
Okay, one of your good friends was murdered. All right. And Jeray, you're just darn right passionate about it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure you're right on the mics, kids.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And how do you get involved in this group?
I am actually on Calvetta's executive board, and I'm also the fiscal manager for Mothers Against Violence.
Okay. All right. Good. All right.
Trying to make it simpler for her to speak.
You wanted to know the shooter, Mac?
Yeah.
Gavin Long of Kansas City, Missouri, 29 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He served in the Marines from 2005 to 2010, achieving the rank of sergeant. He was a data network specialist, and he was deployed to Iraq from June 08 to January 09.
Caucasian, African American.
Yes, African American.
Okay. And is the story that he called in a 911, or they think he called in a 911?
Well, people called in a 911, and the police responded. They said, man with a rifle.
Oh, on the roof or something?
That was walking around.
I think he was on the side of the building.
Okay.
From the reports I seen.
All right.
Correct.
All right. So, what do we say? I mean, it's just it's tragic. Every time I saw a police officer this weekend, and for some reason I saw a lot of them in the grocery store, several in church. At lunch today, there were 4 detectives sitting there, and I said to every one of them, "Man, I don't know what you guys are thinking about right now, but if I were you, I'd take sick leave." You know, and thanks for being out there. You know, I mean that's all you can say. Now, did there end up being a rally last Friday while we were on the air?
No, I seen that. I did see that Rage something.
Yeah.
Day of Rage.
Day of
Rage. Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it took place.
No, it didn't take place.
Anywhere? Was that just a social media folklore, or do you think that was
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember certain things like that surface every once in a while. And a lot of times, unfortunately, you don't know if it's going to be true or if it's going to be just a false alarm. And but we didn't have any reports of anything going on. Yeah.
All right. Now, when you who can you trust who doesn't live in Des Moines, Iowa, who's associated with Black Lives Matter? I mean, is there? I'm assuming there's an organization. Is there not?
Yeah, there is an organization, and actually, Des Moines does not have a headquarters. Out of the Midwestern states or cities, we're not one of them that actually has a headquarters. But there are several around, and you can actually go to the Black Lives Matter website, and you can actually contact someone there if you want to know more about their movement. But they do have information out there on the website, and they actually have everything broken down regionally, so you can go out and see in which city do they have a headquarters and who is doing what in that area.
I imagine they've got one in Chicago.
They do have one in Chicago.
In Omaha they do.
I can't recall. I know Gary, Indiana. I know
Casey.
There's one in Michigan.
There's one in Minnesota.
So a little bit larger markets than ours.
Okay. Jeray, tell me what the organization, Black Lives Matter, and I don't really care what the name of it is, but tell me what the movement is in your opinion. You're just a citizen, okay? I'm not asking. Right. I'm asking you as an African American woman. But is that the right term, or is it black?
You use the right term.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's fine. If you want to call me Cracker, that's okay.
No.
But I just want to make sure I'm being polite to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's disrespectful. Let's African American or black. It's okay.
Okay. All right. So, what does that movement mean to you?
To me, what the movement means. To me, what the movement means is educating our people on. I'm sorry, I'm flustered right now, but it's educating not only Black lives but all lives. I feel it's just making awareness, letting them know that there is a voice, that we have a voice that we want to be heard, that we, just saying we want to be heard. We're not saying that all lives don't matter, because they do matter. It's just getting out there. For many years, I don't know how everybody else grew up, but for many years I was taught like, we was less than other races. So now it's just saying like, hey, we're finally speaking up. We finally want to have that voice. We want to be heard. It's educating our communities, letting them know there's people out here that are willing to listen. You're not in it by yourself.
All right. Who, not names, I don't want names, but who were the people that made you feel, or that told you were less important because of the color of your skin?
I'm not saying there's not actual people, but events that have took place in my personal life to where I felt like what I said didn't mean nothing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I can just say from like I said, things that I've went through as, coming up as, a teenager, a lot of things that I have experienced. Sometimes it was known that what you're saying right now does not matter to us.
Okay.
So.
Now, you have kids yourself?
Yes, I do.
How old's the oldest?
My oldest is 21.
21. And how old's your youngest?
20.
All right. Oh, just right in there in one pile. Okay. If they were sitting in here, so we're another generation now. Mm-hmm. When we come back, I want you to talk to me about what they see and what they face out there. All right. We're going to take our break. It's your voice I want to hear. You can call us at 515-244-0077 or on the text line at 809-0993. Black Lives Matter. They do. We're talking about it today, live in Mac's World.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
3:21 minutes in the afternoon after 3 o'clock, 18th day of July in the Lord's third millennium. I said that wrong a couple days last week, and a very nice listener corrected me. By the way, if I should run into you someplace and you say, oh, yeah, I listened to your show, my answer is always, thanks for listening. What can we do better? I'm very, very interested in, I don't know what other word to say, just constructive criticism. It comes from my years in the restaurant business. When you tell me the meal was good, I'd say, okay, thank you, but make sure you tell me when it's not good. So you can always call any of us and tell us what you think. You can write an email. You can send us a text. Be nice. You don't have to be mean. Well, Frank does, but most people can just be nice when they're even being critical. So always looking for your input there. My guests today are D'Angelo Johnson, Calvetta Berry, and Jarré. Can I do a little French thing on that and go Jarré?
Yes, you may.
All right, Griffith. And these are three people who are very much involved in the startup of Mothers Against Violence, in the startup. Yeah, so all three of these people were involved in the startup of Mothers Against Violence, which started a couple of years ago by Calvetta, and they also, you don't really speak for the Black Lives Matter organization in Des Moines because there is not an organization in Des Moines.
That's correct.
But we're obviously talking about this because of what's been going on, and they were here on Friday, and it was wonderful, and we didn't have enough time to finish it correctly. Debbie is sick today, so she's not able to be here. So we're just continuing the conversation. So you have two boys.
I have a boy and a girl.
Oh, so you have a 21-year-old boy and a 20-year-old girl.
20-year-old boy, 21-year-old girl.
Oh, I knew I had at least half wrong, right? Half of it. And do they live here in Des Moines?
Yes.
And what do they, if they were sitting here, what would they tell you about being black in Des Moines, Iowa in the summer of 2016?
I know there was a time what my son had faced being a black man here in Des Moines. He was with him. It was him and three other friends of his. Now, all four of these boys done graduated from high school. They all been to college. Well, they got pulled over just for a broken taillight. Well, being that my son and a couple of his friends, they wear dreadlocks, hoodies, the skinny jeans that, everybody's now wearing, and high top shoes. Well, being that they had fit this description of what they consider a known gangbanger, they got pulled out their car, searched. The car got searched because of their profile, what they look like. Which, to me, that's not right.
And they didn't find anything.
Didn't find nothing.
Okay.
But being that they fit the description of what they would consider a gangbanger, they got pulled out the car. All they was being pulled over for was a broken taillight.
Right. Was that at night or during the day?
It was during the day,
okay.
Actually.
So this is good. I'm glad you brought that up. So what would you like to see changed so that doesn't happen?
The stereotype. Just because I may be, my son may be in some Jordans or some Levi's with a hoodie, that don't mean that my son's a gangbanger. And the stereotypes, it has to end. Because there's folks I know, they wear business suits, but don't mean that they're not out here doing what they're not supposed to do.
Right, Frank?
Is there any good profiling? Because let me ask this. We know that the people who are terrorizing our country are fundamentally Arab men between the ages of about 18 and 35. Should we, for political correctness, frisk everyone, no matter what color, who they are, how old they are? Should we frisk everyone going through an airport, or should we profile who we think we're being attacked by? Is profiling under any circumstance?
I feel
good?
Profiling is, to me, when you profile someone, no, that's not correct to me.
I think everyone should be frisked.
My thing is, that's like if you see Calvetta, if I see Calvetta, we don't know each other. She's in the airport. She's dressed the way she is. She don't get searched. But I come come in with some capris, maybe a Nike shirt and Jordans, and I get frisked. No, that's not right. I think everyone should be frisked as they're going through the airport. Don't make it just for one group of people. Or you feel because they're not dressed the way you think they should be dressed, oh, I'm going to go ahead and frisk her because she don't look business type.
Right.
I mean, you know, and it's sad because, I mean, this is just society. I mean, I've done it before, too. When the ISIS things was going on, I was at a restaurant. We seen a couple Indians, Arabs. First thing I, say like, ooh, like, should I get up and leave? You know, that's just, as a person, as a human, you do that sometimes, but is it correct? No.
The voice you hear there is Jeray Griffith. I also have D'Angelo Johnson and Calavetta Berry in, and we're continuing our conversation that we were on last Friday about Black Lives Matter. Okay, I promise you guys are going to talk a lot, but I want to go back and focus on you for just a second if I can. What I heard you say, don't let me put words in your mouth, okay, Jeray? What I heard you say was that you would see someone of a Middle Eastern descent, and you had you stereotyped, wondering if maybe they were carrying a bomb or whatever. What's the difference between that and your sons getting pulled over for how they were dressed?
The thing about it is, I did not voice it. It was just a thought, you know what I mean? But I soon erased that thought process. It wasn't like I acted on that thought process. There's a difference, when you have that thought process and you're like, hold on a minute.
But a police officer...
You're not trained for that.
Right.
But a police officer, isn't part of his training to decipher, to discern? I mean, I don't care what word you want to use. Profile seems to be a dirty word, but there are things that we all do when we look at people, when we're in a room, if we're going to encounter them or whatever. We take visual, auditorial, whatever it is, senses, and that tells us how we're going to react to this individual. That's not wrong, is it?
But the thing is, though, where the problem is, if you're trained to do this, my thing is, if you have that person, they got their insurance and their ID and already in hand, there's no probable cause. You don't smell no type of illegal drugs coming out the vehicle or anything. They're cooperating. So there's a difference. Now, like when I was speaking about me doing that to somebody, I didn't go up to the I'm ready to leave, I'm going to the manager, I think she's doing this. No, I didn't do that. It was a thought that I erased from my mind immediately, because you don't know what a person, you don't know what they're going to do. You don't. You know. So it's I don't know. It's just right. That's what I'm saying. It's the action.
All right, tell me the same situation. I remember last week you said that you have an envelope in your car.
Right. Yes.
And it has all the information that a police officer would need if you get pulled over, and you offer it to them before they even get to the window.
Before they even get to my window, I actually have it in the folder from Willis Auto Campus. You can see it right there out the window. Here's my insurance, here's my registration, and here's my driver's license. And it's out the window before they even begin to ask me, do you know why I pulled you over? Just so you know, my hand is visible. Here's all my information, and everything is legitimate. Okay. Something that Jeray had mentioned about the profiling, and her sons, or her son and his friends, high school graduates in college or college graduates, and they fit a certain mold and were pulled over. Like I said last week, I do know that happens. It has happened to me, and it's something that's unfortunate. And I think when you talk about profiling, and you say, well, to a degree, don't we need to do this? I understand the need for mitigating risk. And so for me, I try to see their perspective, but the profiling, I do believe, goes a bit too far. And something that I told my friends, I was riding along with 3 of my male friends, and all 3 of them in the car with me at that time were all Caucasian. And I told them, I said, you do know that if I were in the car and you 3 were black, actually you all wouldn't even be in the car with me. Growing up, if there were ever 3 or more blacks in a car, you were almost always pulled over, period. So I set a standard, and it's a sad standard. I will not ride with more than 3 black men in a car, period. And that is a very sad reality.
Well, don't you think the same thing can apply to whites? I mean, if you get a couple of 3 long-haired guys in a car.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me say, I mean, I may have been under a wrong impression the other day. I thought you guys were representing Black Lives Movement. I understand you're with a different organization.
Correct.
I'm respecting that organization a little bit more. I definitely am on your side about Mothers Against Violence. But I've got some issues with the Black Lives Movement that I mentioned, that I think they're leading with race, which I think in and of itself is a bit divisive.
Okay.
But I'm going to throw out a question for you, and it's going to be kind of a tough question.
Okay.
We have a black president.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against him based solely on his race. I'm against him because I perceive him as being a liberal.
Okay.
Now, in the interest of disclosure, I was all in for Ben Carson, black individual, part of my denomination. But we have a president of the United States that seems to be sitting silent on some things and stirring the pot and agitating others. Now, in his own home city of Chicago, there has been, I've been told, statistics say there's been about 3,490 up to 4,000, maybe as many as 5,000 murders in the city of Chicago. And these murders go on daily almost without notice. Nobody mentions it. A lot of this stuff is gang related. I would have more respect for the movement if somebody was speaking for those dead people, because as a Christian, that young man or young woman that was killed has no ability to hear the good news of Jesus Christ. As a Christian, I can't share my faith with that person. So that person's voice is going unheard. And we jump on these high-profile cases, but we don't address just death in general in this country.
So are you speaking? Are you speaking to the gang violence? Are you speaking to the black on black violence? What are you speaking to?
All of it. All of it.
Okay.
There is organizations that do address those issues in Chicago. I know Mothers Against Violence have worked with, a few that came to Iowa, and they are in their community and they are working. And
that's the thing. That's what Mothers Against Violence is about. And I told you on what was it, Thursday, I'm actually from that area. So I know the organizations that are out there. That the thing is, they don't, like you mentioned, the media will pick up the high profile cases. They don't pick up the organizations that are actually out there, feet to the ground, passionate about changing that gang violence, changing whether it's white on white crime, black on black crime. They are out there wanting to make a difference. And I grew up with a father who actually was involved in that type of community. That Interfaith Federation is what it was called. And they were different organizations, different religious groups, and different nonprofits. They would come together and try to make some type of progress in that area.
All right, we'll continue this conversation when we come back. Also, Jerome is on the phone in Ames. He'll be live with us.
Thank you.
Along with Black Lives Matter here on The Truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
3:38, 22 minutes before the top on the 18th day of July in the third millennium of Jesus Christ. 2016. Lord, come soon, please. We got a great conversation going today. I trust these three people. Trusted you a long time for the work you did a couple years ago. Just met the two of you.
Yeah.
You're great. I don't know about you, though.
Don't know about me?
4 boys?
4 boys.
Are you going to have
It's a
another
blessing.
one so you could have a basketball team?
You know what? I'll play center. Nope, no more. No, sir.
I think what'd you say your oldest one was 4?
11.
11.
Yes.
Well, you're close.
Yep.
And the youngest one is?
He'll be 2 in October.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be playing any basketball.
That's all right.
yet.
Train him up, right?
That's right. Train him up. That's right. Train him to love the Lord.
Yes,
That's
most
what we
important.
Need to train him. All right. Jerome hung up. Jerome, maybe you got another call or something. That's okay. The minute you call, I want to get you back on the radio. Phone lines are open. It's really important that we hear from you guys today. And this may be a subject that you don't trust yourself on. Mm-hmm. Frank has been doing real well Friday and today. No, I mean that because you
that shouldn't surprise you.
Yeah, you're always polite in front of other people. I know that.
No, I'm polite when other people aren't here too.
Thank you, Frank.
Jerome, don't believe him. Should have heard the litany of things he said about you after you left last week.
Oh, yeah.
Let's bring that to the air.
I said, that was a nice guy.
Yeah, that's what we actually all said. Frank wanted to know if he could borrow that 3-piece suit of yours.
Anytime. We look about the same measurements. Anytime.
Yeah. All right. Jerome is off the phone. Okay, because I was going to go to him next.
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Well,
and you two go ahead and have a conversation if
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
to. Please.
Okay. I respect a movement, number one, that's non-political. I don't think politics should be involved in this at all. Death is death. I was raised up to celebrate every life and mourn every death.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think politics should be in this movement whatsoever. I kind of think that this is a ginned-up movement. I respect your movement a little bit more now that I know that it's distinguished from Black Lives Matter. But I supported Ben Carson because I think he's a better candidate for us. So I'm not against a candidate just based on their race. And I see this movement.
That would make you a racist, Frank.
I see this movement as kind of trying to get people to vote against their political interest. I can't vote a socialist agenda. I can't vote for Hillary Clinton. I can't vote for a socialist agenda. It seems to me that the movement is pushing towards the Democrat Party. If I'm wrong, tell me where I'm wrong.
I mean, you want to speak on that?
You guys go ahead.
My opinion of it, I mean, there's what a lot of people don't know. There is a lot of the black race that are actually Republicans, and it stems from when slavery got abolished. I know a lot of black Republicans. It started with Abraham Lincoln. He was a Republican, and there is a lot of blacks that also have led to that direction of being a Republican, doing, like I said, during the times of slavery, because that was one president who was a Republican that had abolished slavery. So there is a lot of blacks that are also Republicans, so I don't think it's more or less gearing towards just being a Democrat. It's whoever's fit to be in office. I feel that whose views that who you like.
I don't think the movement has anything to do with politics.
Well, you know that demographics are telling us that, generally speaking, about 90% of the black community generally votes Democrat. Bush got a little bit, Bush Sr. got a little bit above that. Some people are saying that they think Trump will surprise people in the black and the Hispanic communities, that he may exceed them marks. But generally over the years, statistics and demographics has told us that generally 9 out of 10 blacks that vote generally vote Democratic. And that's odd, because they should be on the side of Republicans on social issues, because most blacks line up with Republicans on social issues. It's the fiscal issues which kind of turns the the tide towards the Democrats. Because in California, for example, this blew my mind, that 70% of the blacks and Hispanics who voted for Obama shot down the 2 referendums in California on gay marriage and legalized pot. So that tells me that black people are lined up with Republicans on social issues.
Yeah, when I look at just both sides, I take into consideration what you just mentioned, the social issues, and then you look at the fiscal part of it. And I would agree with that. But for me personally, I actually am, and I don't know if Jeray knew this or not, but I am a Republican. I have no issue with saying that at all. And that is because of my stance, okay? But at the same time, I'm at this table because I feel as though there needs to be attention drawn to what's going on in this country. And one of the very first, one of my very best friends, he's one of the deacons out of our church, he texted me and he kind of apologized for some things that was going on, because he said there's this notion, anytime blacks come together, it's always going to be violence. It's always going to be a riot. And we can't even peacefully protest because people think it's just going to get out of hand. And so for me, kind of looking at that and understanding that, hey, we need to look at more so the social issues. We need to draw attention to that. We need to let people know that just because blacks are getting together and we're rallying doesn't mean that we're going to be more violent. That has nothing to do with which party that I'm a part of at all.
Well, what do you think about these situations? We have a right to protest. We have a right to assemble in this country, but nothing good comes of a protest after dark. Now, these Baltimore and Ferguson situations, the people who are really out there trying to protest generally go home in the evening. They don't want to be out on the streets any more than I do. And it seems like that's the time when the agitators get into the movement. the rock throwers, the looters, and the people that's wanting to create a situation where the whole community's getting painted by that picture.
Right, and that was unfortunate. We touched briefly on that last week. That's absolutely disheartening, and it's unfortunate that you have a selective few. And I think the term that you used was hijacking. Yeah. Do I believe that those people within that Black Lives Matter, when they're out there rallying, if they're trying to hijack the movement? And my answer to you was no. And unfortunately, you have pockets of people that come there with different intentions. And so when you begin to paint the picture of an entire group, and you lose the importance of the focal point of what the movement is trying to do, and you begin to focus on those people that are acting out, it just takes away the entire purpose of what people are trying to do. And it's something that's you can't shake easily. It's like a Muslim and then looking at them and saying, oh, they're extremists. You can't paint an entire people that way. And something about the Baltimore movement, there were people that were lined up protecting the police officers. There were blacks protecting the police officers. The media doesn't portray those things.
Well, in Ferguson, to my knowledge, most of the people that were arrested in Ferguson didn't live in the community. They had all come from Oakland, from wherever, the ones who were getting arrested. So that tells me absolutely that there's people coming in with nefarious intentions when they come in.
But that's only some, because I attended those protests in Ferguson, and when I was there, and I was there at night too, they were very peaceful. But like you said, there's just a pocket of people that the news, they want to get.
The media pick it up.
But you didn't get arrested.
No. It was peaceful when I was there. I didn't see any of that because people warned me, don't go to Ferguson. You know, it's this, they're looting and they're tearing up, burning stuff down. I didn't see any of that. I seen the burnt down buildings when I got there, but it was peaceful and it was all colors. It was all shades of people.
Where did it...
Hold on. We need to take a break. And guess who called in right before we're going to take a break? Jerome. Jerome, don't hang up, dude. Okay? This is only a 2-minute spot set, and we'll be back at 3:50, and we'll go straight to you first. All right. We're here with great folks from Black Lives Matter and
Mothers
Against Violence. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're coming back live here in Mac's World.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
10 minutes before 4 o'clock, 3:50. Phone lines are open, 515-244-0077. And, of course, the text line is 515-809-0993. I don't have any of that stuff usually written down in front of me. Jeb helps by putting it up there. So what's the first number I gave out last night when we did the Profit Zone on WHO? Give us a call, 515-244-0077. And the producer, Jack, went like, he's waving at me in the window. That's the wrong number. Wrong number. So
you got too many irons in the fire.
I do not have too many irons in the fire. How many irons can a guy have? All right, Jerome, are you there?
I'm here, Mac. What's up, man?
All right, man. I appreciate you calling back. I want to hear what you think, so talk to me.
No, I appreciate you letting me come back. I got a call in the middle of that. I apologize for coming in and out. But the representative for Mothers Against Violence, she said that she mentioned that she thought profiling was wrong, and I guess my thought on that is that so she wanted us to frisk everybody or search everybody at the airport, but not everybody's carrying bombs. Not everybody has a known vendetta against America. Now, when we talk about the police actions and things of that nature, I agree with you. I have no idea why we have the propensity for violence, it seems that we have in our police department. But when it comes to the airport and the profiling is a good thing. It helps us mitigate risk, assess risk evaluation. I cannot. I mean, I understand that we need to maybe tone it down or do it a different way, but I cannot agree that profiling is bad. And I'd like to hear her thoughts on that. Thanks, Max.
Hey, thanks, Jerome. I appreciate you sticking around and giving us a call. He's always a good call. Was that directed at you?
Yes.
Okay.
And what I was meaning by the profiling, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, when it comes to the profiling, that'd be just like me and Calvetta coming in. I'm looking like, a gangbanger or the person that's doing these bombs. It may not be me. I could have been born in America. Now, it don't mean that I'm the one that's carrying these bombs onto the plane. So what I'm saying is I feel like everybody should be frisked, because to me now it becomes, well, okay, I was frisked. Why wasn't she frisked? So now it becomes a profiling thing where it can upset other people because we're not living like that.
I watched. I was in, I believe, the Kansas City airport, and I watched a elderly black gentleman in a wheelchair get wanded around and around and around. They let him go for a while. They wanted him some more. They wanted him some more. I wanted to find out, but I didn't get a chance till I met the guy in Nashville going over towards the rental car thing. I said, "What was all that going on in Kansas City?" He said, "Well, he had a pacemaker." That 75, 80-year-old, 85-year-old man's not the guy that's going to get on a plane and blow it up.
Absolutely.
We got to be, we've only got so many resources. We only have so much money. We can't waste our time frisking nuns and little girls and little boys, going on an airplane. We have to maximize our effort by frisking the people we think is out to do us harm.
Yeah. Really?
Okay, so my thing is, if you frisk who you think is causing the harm, and you don't frisk the next person behind me, that person had the bombs, but you did not frisk him. You frisked me, but you didn't frisk him, and you let him through.
Because
so now
she looks a certain way.
Because I look a certain way, so that's not right.
Well, I know that in fact that's partially true, because the Al Qaeda types have tried to recruit Asiatic people of descent to commit terrorist acts. So I understand they're going to switch up their techniques, but I'm saying that it's kind of like the caller's saying, if we're getting primarily attacked by 18 to 35-year-old Arab men on our planes or on whatever, it's kind of silly to not focus on. I'm not saying we let that everybody gets a free-for-all except Arab men.
Yeah.
But we have to gear our efforts to be smart.
But at the same time,
I definitely understand what the caller's saying about the risk mitigation. That is something that allows you to assess what's going on, and to, like you said, how to do it efficiently for everyone's time, everyone's money. But at the same time, we do need to look at other ways to really just to try to, again, be more efficient all around with that. But we were more so speaking on profiling and cars and being pulled over and things of that nature. The airport, that's completely different.
And also, just to finish a touch on that as well, I mean, the thing about it, there's a lot of Arabs that are doctors. So if that's the case, should we be taking our child to them Arab doctors? I mean, my son's doctor, asthma doctor, great doctor. He was Arab, Indian descent. But doesn't mean he has a bomb in his suitcase.
Well, but Frank, I'm going to take cumbrance with you here because I believe everybody ought to be searched when you're getting on an airplane. Because let me tell you something. That old man, was he black or white?
Black.
Okay, so let's say it doesn't matter what color he was. He's an old man. They keep wanding him because he's got a pacemaker. That old man's widow to be could have been given $500,000 in American money cash if he's dying of cancer if he'd just go get on this plane and blow it up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, I don't. I think it's either everybody or nobody.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I also understand. Then they have those things where they call. I don't know if you've ever. I don't fly. I mean, I do. I have flown, and I'm sure I'll fly again. But I don't travel.
Right.
But I remember once when I was going somewhere. They put a sticker on my bag, and I got searched.
Yeah.
And I said, "How do you do that?" And she said, "Oh, it's just random numbers and stuff." And I thought, okay, at this time I'm probably a 50-year-old white guy, overweight. What do they think I'm going to do?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's no fair if it was you, Jerome, and you had
D'Angelo.
or like D'Angelo. I'm sorry.
You think about the caller.
I think about your son. You said he had dreadlocks and all that kind of stuff. That's not fair.
See, me, I don't have nothing against the frisking. You know what I mean? That's fine. But it becomes an issue is when I get frisked and the white lady behind me don't. That's when it becomes an issue. Or, you know what I mean? I'm not saying, trying to make it a racial thing.
Or
but
when they pull over your son,
right,
there's a way to talk to.
There's a way to go about it.
Our young men, there's ways to go about it,
Okay.
Especially when you're law enforcement. You've been trained.
Yeah. All right. This is our long break. This is our bathroom break. And we're coming back at 6 minutes after the hour. We're going to keep this conversation going. I hope you participate in it. 515-244-0077 is the phone line, or you can text at 515-809-0993. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I mean, this is my favorite thing to do in the whole world. I love my job, and I can't do it without you. If you've never heard of us or happen to just find us while stumbling across the dial, we're The Truth, 99.3. We are a conservative talk station that can say the name of Jesus as often as we want. In fact, we even have some preachers on in the morning rather than people trying to make jokes. We're trying to give you the word, and we're trying to get you to start your day right, start your day with some devotions, and put you in touch with the Holy Spirit. And just remember who you are and who made you, who created you, who has a plan for your life, and will never, ever, ever leave you and stop loving you. It's God, and his son's name is Jesus, and we're so thankful that he's a part of our lives. We're coming back on The Truth.